Welcome back to another video. My name is Henrik and today we're going to be looking at the model year 2024 of the Volvo XC40 Recharge. This car is built on a mild hybrid system, or basically a combustion engine, so it doesn't also have the best value when it comes to CV value, which is a 0.329. And the starting price of this car is going to be 47,500 euros. Our test vehicle in the Ultimate Edition and the twin engine or the twin motor setup is going to be costing you 69,200 euros. Starting 2024, you're not going to get any bonuses when it comes to your state government's funding, so a little bit unfortunate. Let's start off with the design of the car. As we can see, it is fairly bulky. It's a typical Volvo design, which I like. Most electric cars are going to be more like round and stuff like that. This one is fairly bulky and it looks fairly decent. Doesn't look too much different to the normal combustion engine, which is nice. The only thing that's different, obviously, because you have this grille covered up with basically a cover in there. And if we look further down, we can also see we have some black touches down here, which I really do like. I love the Volvo logo in here as well, with the camera in the front, so meaning we do have a full 360-degree camera system is in here as well. We do also have the Thor's hammer lights in here, which also work very nicely at night, illuminate a lot, and also works good when it comes to automatically illuminating the road and not the vehicle that's coming onto you. And we can also see some more lights down there, and in general, a fairly nice looking design. Let's also look at under the hood, where we also have a little bit of Frunk in there, which is going to be 31 liters of storage space. Also a fairly clean design in here. You can see everything is basically covered up. You can fill up your windscreen wiper fluid in there, so you can put that in there. You can see down here we have a little bit of a Frunk, which is going to be 31 liters. You can, for instance, put some cables in there, which is nice. And you also can take this out a little bit, so you can see there's some more tire kit, for instance, down there. Actually, also a tire kit that is for your hooking thing, whatever you want to call it. The towing bar, which is nice. So fairly clean design, which I do like, and you can also close it up fairly easily. And a quick word for the sponsor of today's video, which is going to be CarVertical, the perfect place for you to check out if you're getting ripped off or scammed when buying a used car. All you have to do is input the VIN number of the car, and then you can see all the details about that car, the history of that car, for instance, the odometer, the financial and legal status, the damage. And we can see on this version here of the Volvo XC40, there has been some damage. And you can see there's over 31 sources where this car was checked and 900 data sources in 35 different countries. There's no theft. You can see the mileage in there, which is nice. And you can go down into the damage. It says this vehicle is damaged. So if the owner says, yeah, this car has never been crashed, never had any damage, you can show him this and be like, okay, wait, but I see here there is some damage, and the estimated repair cost of that, it even shows you that 60 to 70,000 pounds, which is quite a lot. And then it's going to show you everything about the car that you need to know. So if you are interested in CarVertical, you get a 10% discount via the link in the description, or just use the code nonstopdriving when using the link in the description, or just using on the CarVertical site. So hopefully you guys do enjoy it and make sure to check it out. Dimensions of the car is also 4 meters and 44 long, 1 meter and 87 wide, and 1 meter and 65 tall, with a ground clearance of 17.5 centimeters. You also have a total weight of this car at 2.17 tons, and the total that is allowed is, I think, 2.68 tons, so fairly heavy, so you can load a good amount to it. You can see there's a couple of new things, for instance. The wheels, these are not new, but the rims you can now optionally also get in 19-inch aerodynamic wheels, which they're built a little bit different now, so a little bit more aerodynamic. You can also see we have the biggest one on here, which are 20-inch wheels covered by the Scorpion or the Pirelli Scorpion all-season tires, which they're okay, but for winter condition they're not the greatest. The color on here is also the Fjord blue color, which I really like. Looks really nice. There's also one new color, I think, which is the Cloud blue, which is supposed to be a blue, but it's completely white in my opinion. Design in here also pretty nice. We have like a little Recharge logo up on the top here. And if we talk about the design and also what's new, there's one thing that's also new is now that all models have rear-wheel based engine now, which is nice. We have the twin motor setup, so all-wheel drive system. That's the only all-wheel drive system you can get. And the charging capabilities are also now 200 kilowatts instead of 150 for the bigger batteries, which is now an 82 kilowatts an hour battery, and the total usage is 79 kilowatts an hour. Meaning if you get the single extended range, you can also have, or you get rear wheel now, as well as the single motor, you also get a rear wheel instead of a front wheel, which is better for obviously power performance and also for your range, which is nice. The range with the single motor extended range, which is the biggest one, now goes up to 571. Our is supposed to be 541 with the twin motor setup, but that is WLTP. You can expect 440 basically, that's what you can expect. Design-wise, obviously nothing has changed with the new model year. You can see still we got the typical Volvo lights in here, a little bit of a roof spoiler in there, and some more touches down here, which look pretty nice. In general, a fairly nice looking design, and I really like the thing that it's a compact car, and it is still a compact car, not like normal cars that are supposed to be compact cars, but are getting a little bit bigger now. We also have a towing capacity on here of 1.8 tons, which is really nice, that's a lot. Roof capacity of 75 kilograms, and you can also put, for instance, e-bikes on the towing hitch of up to 100 kilograms, which is very nice. If we open up the trunk, it's electrical, 352 up to 1,328. If we take this out for a second, you can see one thing that's also nice, we do have a pass-through way in there, and because it is basically the same as the combustion engine, we also have the typical features in here. For instance, you can flip this up, put a little bit of a shopping bag in there. Actually no, you can't flip that over, that's just how it is. You put your bag on there, and you can also see some more storage space down here. So let's talk a little about the range and the consumption. We are currently at 80% because we did just finish charging. It shows us a range of 330 kilometers left. That is always a little bit different depending on the way you drive. And you can also see the current consumption is 29.6. That's in the last 39.5 kilometers. That is fairly high. The best value we got from driving a little bit country roads and also a little bit of city driving from around 60 kilometers was around 20.8, I think you said, right?
20.9. Yeah.
20.9, so somewhere right around there. WLTP claims 17.6 for the bigger battery and also the twin motor. If you get the single range extended version, that's going to be at the single motor extended range, that's going to be a 16.6 kilowatts an hour battery consumption. So you are going to be looking at around, with this motor, 440 kilometers of range. WLTP claims 541. Obviously, it doesn't really make sense because WLTP claims 17.6. So divide the 79 kilowatts in our battery that you have in here. By that, you're not going to be able to reach that. You're going to be looking at around 440 kilometers. With the bigger variant, you're going to be looking close to 500 kilometers. So not bad at all. But with the new setup that you now have rear-wheel drive system when it comes to the smaller batteries and also the extended range with the single motor, that's going to allow you to get a little bit of a better consumption, because that was a critique point in the previous model. So you're not going to have that critique point anymore completely, and you're also going to have a little bit better power output when it comes to those variants. So we did do a small charging test here. We didn't drive the car especially too far before that, so the battery wasn't the warmest, obviously. But we did charge it from around 15 up to 80%. That took us a total of 30 minutes, so a little bit more than is claimed. Claimed is around 29 minutes from 10 to 80%. So we did take a little bit longer, but at the end there was also a car beside us. So the max speed that we actually got was 173.3 kilowatts, which is fairly decent. And you can see at the start from around 15 to 20% it did reach that, and then it constantly went down. There's also a little bit spike that went all the way down. That might just be because of the charging speed, the charging port, and also maybe that was exactly the time when the other car went, so it kind of reset itself. But we loaded a total of 54.48 kilowatts an hour, which is fairly decent, and the average speed that we had was 104 kilowatts. So if you're planning a longer trip, this is fairly decent, and that speed's obviously going to get a little bit higher if you're constantly driving it down to below 10%. Then you are probably going to be looking at those 29 minutes. With the new technology in here, that is going to allow you to load up to 200 kilowatts, which is fairly nice. So a fairly decent rate, especially considering the conditions we also had. So there are also a couple of new things while we're in the interior here with the 2024 model. For instance, you have Apple CarPlay now, which is not wirelessly, but it is with cable, so you can plug a cable in right there, and that's going to allow you to have Apple CarPlay. But you really don't need it because you have YouTube, you have Google Maps implemented, Spotify, and you also have the Play Store, so you can download some other apps. But you have plenty of stuff which easily allows you to have the function that you get with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You don't have Android Auto on here, which is a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, for Google Maps, for instance, one thing that's also new is you now have a route planner. So if you, for instance, want to go to Berlin, it is going to plop us in with all the information that we need, for instance, on our loading spot. So we're going to load one time only, which is surprising. Am I even going to? Yeah, Berlin Hauptbahnhof. So one stop, which is going to take us 15 minutes to load, apparently, with 180 kilowatts. So we can see, okay, we're going to load right there. If we also don't want to do that, we can also delete that, and it's going to show us how far we would, well, we'd come right now with 80%, negative 26% we'd have once we arrive, so we obviously have to charge, but that's nice. And also have preconditioning in here. That only works if you use Google Maps and put in the route planner for the next charging spot. Otherwise, your route plan is not going to work with the preconditioning. Preconditioning is not able to, well, you're not able to manually activate the preconditioning for the battery, which is a little bit unfortunate. Would have really liked to see that. So it only works if you're using the Apple CarPlay with the, not the Apple CarPlay, the Google Maps system in here. 408 horsepower, 420 Newton meters, comes with the twin motor setup. That is going to allow us to get from, from 0 to 100 in 4.9 seconds, which is what is claimed. The car weighs 2.17 tons, so fairly heavy. Kick is very good, no wheel spin at all, and we got 4.93 seconds, and that thing is needs some Viagra pills, I think. Yeah, but 4.93 seconds is very, very decent. So 4.9 is claimed, we got 4.93. Maybe we could even get better with a stop of 0.14%, so a very, very good rate. So I don't actually have a value for the braking distance, so we're just gonna, okay, this thing is just floppy and I don't like it. We're gonna see what the distance is here. Good value in these temperatures should be around 38 meters with the all-season tires, 36 meters. Let's see where we get from 100 down to 0. Oh, that's really good. And you can definitely, wow, okay, this is really tight. It tightens up that seatbelt very, very big. Very, very big, that makes no sense. It tightens up very, very heavy. And I think that was a really good value. 35 meters for all-season tires. I mean, temperature is obviously not as wintry as it was previously, but 35 meters not bad at all. If you had summer tires on here, you probably would expect around 32 meters, so a really good value for the condition and also the tires. Right, driving quality in here is also fairly nice. You'd expect that from a Volvo, and for an XC40 Recharge, the only thing that I would complain about is the side mirrors here. They produce a lot of wind turbulence in there, so that's gonna be fairly loud, especially when we go a little bit faster, so we're gonna do that here in a second. And that makes the cabin not that nice when going faster, especially around 120, 130. That's gonna make it a little bit louder. Otherwise, good isolation here, and you also get some very good riding quality in general with the suspension here, which is fairly good for a crossover SUV kind of thing, like a little compact SUV, fairly nice. And the steering input's also very nice. I do have it on the sporty setting for the driving experience when it comes to the steering input. So that's on sport, and I really do like that because I like a little bit more direct feeling, and this one feels really great, and the steering wheel also lies really nicely in your hand. And then obviously, because we do have the twin motor, that's going to allow us to get a little bit more power with 408 horsepower and 420 Newton meters, so we can accelerate and overtake fairly decent, especially those low overtakes, so around 50 kilometers. Those are going to be very, very nice. But if you're going a little bit faster, the power output isn't that great afterwards. So if we try to just slide over here a little bit, we can see if we go kick down here, that is kick down, that is fairly decent, right? No, but if we go kick down, the power is straight there, but it doesn't feel like 408 horsepower, it feels a little bit less. But here you can kick down, it is fairly decent. You can hear the wind noise now. Picks up fairly loud, especially right around here, and up there it goes fairly loud, which is not too nice, but also not bad. You can definitely hear up here there is some kind of wind. It feels like the windows are not fully closed, but you can definitely hear up there is a little bit of a wind noise in there, which is, well, I don't know, maybe something is not completely isolated up there, but it's just fairly loud, especially up there. Otherwise, very comfortable. Also tire noise, you can't really hear anything. The only thing you obviously hear is those winds. Otherwise, a very, very nice experience when driving here a little bit faster. Especially driving around the city, very nicely isolated. And the interior in here is also very nice. We do obviously have the Ultimate Edition, so everything in here is maxed out. One thing I do also like that they changed is now you can see on the pedals here, they're not like that glossy piano black anymore, but it's a matte touch, which I really like and feels way nicer and just doesn't get your fingerprints all over it. Steering wheel, like I said, already feels very nice. You got just simplistic touches on here. In general, the layout is very simplistic. for instance, one thing I don't like too much is that you have your climate control in here, but it's not a bad climate control at all, and it works very nice. We also have the Harman Kardon sound system and not the Bowers & Wilkinson sound system, because you can't get in the XC40, but this one still sounds very, very decent. One thing that's also pretty cool is that you have like this 3D artwork on here, which at night illuminates very nice. You can see an image on the screen right now, which looks pretty cool. If you get the standards or the premium edition for the inside, you also get the top-down view of Gothenburg, which is the birthplace, or basically the home of Volvo in Sweden, which is really nice. So you get like a top-down view of that. Looks pretty cool. And also, well, it's something extra in the interior, which looks pretty cool. At night, daytime, you can see it looks like black, but at night you got like LED touches behind it. It looks really, really nice. I really like that touch, and it's something that I really like. Well, I like it. It's a pretty cool touch. I like it.
I think you like it.
I think so too. Oh, it's great.
That's great.
The other thing that's also nice in the Volvo XC40 Recharge, you get down here, you get inductive loading space. That's one thing I have complained about in a lot of electric vehicles from, or not electric vehicles, from just in general Volvos, that you don't have that much inductive loading spaces, or in general just places where you can put something. So you have that in there, which is pretty nice. Loads very decent. USB-C port up there, 2 of them, one for your Apple CarPlay and one for charging, a 12-volt charger in there, and also just your basic control here for a little bit of climatization, also for your infotainment system and your sound. Quality-wise, also fairly decent. Good quality everywhere for the price. It's fairly decent, I'd say. You got some nice, like, not isolation, but like fabric in there, which isn't high quality, but it's better than just having hard plastic in there. Feels pretty cool. Memory function on here as well, which is nice. We do have these wall seats, which we've had in every single Volvo test car. I really would like to have a different one, like a different style, but I like them, but especially if you're, for instance, wearing shorts. I've heard they're not the greatest when it comes to skin irritation in there, because they feel a little bit, but you don't really sweat in these and anything like that. You also have electrical seats in here. Don't have massage function, but you can operate these electrically, and you can also move this forward a little bit, so you have a little bit more leg support, more upper thighs to support in there. In the back, the seating quality is also decent. You got a good amount of space because it is the same as a combustion engine car. You do have the battery in here, so you do still have a center console, and that also goes to the back. So there is going to be that, like I already said, those 24 modular cells in there. Those are all going to be placed between here, so you don't have a full pass-through on the middle, which would have been nice because an electric car, but you don't have that in here. Space in the back is good. You also got a little bit of climatization there, but you can't control the temperature or anything like that, and also no heated seats. We also have this panoramic window, which just makes it a little bit more open in the inside and a little bit more luxurious, and then you can also open that automatically, which is obviously nice, and you can fully close it as well, especially if you're sitting in the back. That's going to allow you to get a little bit more headroom and also a little bit more spacious interior. So competitors are, for instance, the Lexus UX, you got the BMW iX1, you also have a Hyundai Ioniq 5, which you already did take a look at, so you can check that out on the top left corner, and you also have the Mercedes EQA. So it really depends on your personal preference what you want. This is a fairly decent car. I really like the new architecture that they have in here with the rear-wheel system, the rear drive system, and also the 200 kilowatts technology that they have now, which is really nice, and in general a very compact car, which I really like. Interior is nice, practicality of this car is nice. You have a big towing capacity. So in general, I'm very, very happy with the car, and in my opinion, a really, really good small compact SUV if you're looking for one of those in full electric variant. Also, if you want to get the mild hybrid system with the combustion engine, you can obviously get that as well. But in my opinion, a really, really nice car from Volvo, and hopefully you guys did enjoy, and we'll see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.